Cache Carnival, Geocaching HQ's spring souvenir promotion to celebrate 5 of the world's largest carnival celebrations. The ones in Cologne, Nice, Venezia, New Orleans, and Rio de Janeiro. Each of these places has their own unique geocaching souvenir that will be awarded for finding caches and earning carnival points. The amount of carnival points that a cache is worth is based on the amount of favorite points that cache has. The higher the favorite points, the higher the carnival points. The maximum is 50 for any cache with 50 or more favorites. That means, for me to get the 500 carnival points necessary to earn the 5 cache carnival souvenirs in as few moves as possible, I have to have 10 finds, each with 50 or more favorites. To make it a little more interesting, for me anyway, I'm going to do it all by finding only virtual caches. So, 10 virtuals, 500 points. Let's go to the carnival. The first virtual I'm going after today is in Long Beach, California, a little farther south of my usual caching grounds, but I figure it's a good place to start my Cache Carnival virtual tour. So what's the virtual? It's a house, but it's not just any house. It's a house that Guinness Book of World Records and Ripley's Believe It or Not have called the skinniest house in America. It sits on a 50-foot by 10-foot lot, and in 1932 the owner of the lot was bet by someone that he could not build a habitable house on such a small property. Well, he won the bet, and 87 years later, the house is not only still standing, but somebody's living in it. In 1983, the city of Long Beach registered the house as a historical landmark. Let's check it out. So, to claim this virtual, I have to get numbers off a pole in front of the house, which I'm not going to show you, but I also need to get a picture of the house itself with me in it. Let's do that now. That virtual gave me 50 points, which was enough to get me to Cologne, Nice, and Venezia. Next stop, New Orleans. Right now I'm in Lakewood, California, headed toward a Veterans Memorial. The CO placed this virtual here not only to bring attention to all the people who died while serving their country, but specifically 4 people who died in Vietnam. They were schoolmates of the CO, and he placed this virtual to bring attention to who they are. He says on the cache page that while he came home, they didn't. I think that speaks for itself. Let's take a look at the memorial. Brings my point value to 100, which means I'm officially in New Orleans. Only 400 more points until Rio. The next virtual geocache I'm going after is located in the city of Watts in Los Angeles. It's called Simon Rodia's Dream. What was Simon's dream? He wanted to build a tower. So in 1921, he started collecting scrap metal, broken ceramics, clay pots, old tools, whatever he could get his hands on. And for the next 34 years, he built this. Currently, the towers are going through a restoration process. It should be ready in spring of 2020, at least that's what the sign says. And there's also a connected art center that's going to go through restoration as well. That should be done by the summer of 2020. Let's go on to the next one. Right now I'm going to Los Angeles International Airport, LAX. There are 2 virtual caches there, each one with more than 50 favorite points. Let's get going. So I made it to LAX and I found parking. I'm now headed into one of the terminals. The requirement for logging this virtual is I have to do a drawing or a doodle or something and take a photo of it somewhere in one of the terminals that is clearly LAX. Heading in right now. So the drawing is done. Is it great? No. Will it work? Absolutely. Well, that was simple. Now I'm going to head over to the second virtual cache at LAX. It's a short drive away. Let's head there now. I'm about 150 feet away from ground zero of the second of 2 virtual caches located around Los Angeles International Airport. It's called Pushing Tin LAX. The view is supposed to be amazing. My only logging requirement is I have to answer one question. What gas company? The cache page says that will all make sense once I get there. Let's head on over. So I found the answer to what gas company, and this. So cool. That was awesome. I love a virtual cache that takes me to a place in my own hometown that I had no idea even existed. On to the next one. There are 2 Navy planes and 16 different types of missiles on display here at Missile Park. At one point or another, each one of these missiles was actually tested at Naval Air Station Point Mugu, but now they're all on display for the public to see. My job, in order to get this virtual, check out all the missiles, learn a little bit about them, answer a few questions. Let's get going. downtown Los Angeles. This next virtual brings me to downtown Los Angeles, specifically Little Tokyo. On January 28, 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger took off for its 10th and final flight into orbit. 73 seconds after takeoff, at 11:39 a.m., the Challenger exploded, killing all 7 members of its crew, one of whom was a civilian schoolteacher. Another member of the crew was United States Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Ellison Onizuka. That's who this virtual is about. Let's check out the memorial. I never in a million years would have known this was here if not for this virtual cache. I thank the CO for that. On to the next one. Right now I'm in downtown Los Angeles, not far from Union Station. More specifically, I'm at the start of Olvera Street, which is said to be the birthplace of Los Angeles. It was built in 1930 to preserve and celebrate the trades and customs of early California. Everything about this place is authentic. And there's a virtual cache here. Let's get going. Behind me is the Avila Adobe. It's the oldest existing house in Los Angeles. It was built in 1818 by Don Francisco Avila, and it stood standing until about 1971 when it suffered severe damage after a giant earthquake. It's been restored, however, and now it's a museum. You can get into it for free. I'm a little bit late though. It closed earlier, but all the information I need for the virtual cache is on the outside of the building. So another virtual down. Let's move on. After my time in downtown Los Angeles, it's time to go west. There are 2 more virtual caches in Santa Monica. Heading there now. Behind me is a wall that contains more than 2,200 names of POWs who were still missing in action. The cache page starts off with a memorial to the men and women of the war in Southeast Asia whose families are still waiting for them to come home. A lot of work went into that wall, and somewhere on there are the answers I need for this virtual. But I'm going to let the wall speak for itself. Let's head on over. As you can see, it's gotten dark, but the next virtual I'm going after, I don't think light's going to be an issue. Let's head on over. The Santa Monica Pier was built in 1909, and I'm pretty sure it's been busy nonstop ever since. There are restaurants, there are bars, there's an amusement park. You can even fish off of it. There's also a couple geocaches. I'm here for the virtual. Let's go get it.
I am Zoltar, the Great Gypsy, and I can see your fortune. Come see it too, no?
Considering it's a weekend, the pier is absolutely crazy. But I checked the Google satellite image for where the cache would be found, and I know right where to go. It's in Pacific Park. Let's head on in. So I went where I needed to go, and I found what I needed to find. I now have all the answers necessary for the virtual cache. I obviously can't give them out here, but honestly, this cache was not about finding that item I needed to go to. It was about bringing people to the Santa Monica Pier, and it has brought a lot of people. Right now, this virtual cache has 331 favorite points, all of them very well deserved. All right, I'm done here. I'm gonna head on out. Well, that's it. I did what I set out to do. I found 10 virtual caches, each with 50 or more favorite points. That got me 500 Carnival points, which earned me the 5 cache Carnival souvenirs. But more importantly, in finding those 10 virtuals, I saw things I never ever would have seen. I've been to places in my own hometown I had no idea even existed. I had a great time making this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Take care. Thanks for watching.